Hello again, and welcome back to the Trim the Wick podcast. I'm Dan, and we are with you live out in the open, enjoying our beautiful Florida afternoon, and you just can't beat it. So we are excited to be relaunching Trim the Wick podcast. We took a little bit of a break, and we are back. So I'm going to be bringing you some solo content. I will be also doing some interviews. I will be also spending some time with Becky, and we'll be talking about business growth, business planning. We'll talk about professional development, leadership, all those things. I'm also excited about doing these interviews with you, where I'm going to be interviewing different business owners and different business leaders, as well as focusing on, helping you grow, not just personally or spiritually, but growing in your business and growing as a leader. One of the things I believe wholeheartedly is that as people who have been created and put on this planet, that, we have a purpose, we have a meaning, and we're also all leaders. And you might not think that you're a leader. You might not think that you know how to lead people, but guess what? You do. You just don't know that you're doing it. So we're going to talk about that in this podcast. We're going to kind of be expanding some new things and different things. So glad that you're with me. So glad that you're here to enjoy this beautiful day. Not only are we an audio podcast, as we are now launching off into the video realm. And we tried it a little bit back in the day with Becky and I, but we're now going to go full force in the video, and we hope you enjoy, especially this beautiful day and an occasion. All right, so enough of all of that. My goodness, I've been talking for 2 minutes, and I haven't really even said anything. But here's the big thing. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here with us on the Trim the Wick podcast. Well, here's the thing, is that I've talked to a lot of different business owners and leaders, and one of the things that I hear a lot is there's an issue with keeping employees, retention. There's also this issue with motivating employees, and how do you get people to do the work that they're supposed to be doing. And I kind of came up with a quick little list here, and I want to kind of go through these with you today as our podcast. And this is going to be more of as a leader or a business owner, trying to help just motivate your people, just to get them to not only do the work, but also participate in the business, be a part of the business that you're doing. Because here's the thing, is that, it's great that you have people that are great workers and do the work and show up on time and everything. But really, what you really want are those people who buy in to what your company is doing, what your business is doing. Because when you get that buy-in, when they get that vision, when they start adapting and kind of making it their own and really getting a hold of it, that's when you get to see some incredible work done. And that's where you get to see those people who just go above and beyond. Now, one of the things that I remember is those years that I was with Walt Disney Company, and I was listening to how, Walt kind of motivated his people. And if you think about it, I hear these stories, and he was kind of a jerk a little bit, because he would ask these guys to do things that were just well out of the normal 9 to 5. But here's the thing, is that he motivated his people so well. He helped, cast a vision, help cast this idea of something bigger than themselves, and that they were involved in something that was even more than just what they did on a daily work basis. So that's what I want to kind of talk to you a little bit today. I want to kind of talk about on motivating your employees on a bigger basis. And I'm going to talk a little bit here in the next few weeks about how to understand people's style and communication style, motivation styles, and how you can put them in the right position so that they succeed. But today I just wanted to give you some quick things on how to how to just motivate your people. And this is a list that was put together by a bunch of different business owners, plus it's some of the things that I've talked to some different individuals. And so let's look at this list together. And the first thing that they mention on this list is that, number one, you need to recognize your employees' achievements. This is a big one. I hear so often that, oh, you know what we got? We got a pizza party. Well, yeah, okay, so that seems simple, it seems plain, it seems boring maybe. But you need to be doing more than just providing them a pizza party. You need to recognize when your employees do well. Recognize when your workers do well. If they do something that's good, praise them, encourage them, tell them, listen, this is fantastic work. I am so glad that you're a part of this program. I'm so glad that you're doing this. One of the things I worked with a manager years ago, and he said, never let your people know that they've done a great job. Tell them they've done a good job, but there was always something that you can correct. Now, I understand that in some ways that, okay, I see you're wanting to help them get better. But the thing is that with our society the way it is right now, it really will lead into discouragement if you're always picking out the negative, if you're always pointing out the flaws and not really elevating the good stuff. So one of the big things that we need to be doing nowadays is making sure that we're recognizing our employees' achievements. It's huge when you just say, hey, listen, Sally did a great job on this, or going to them personally and say, hey, Sally, you did an amazing job on this. This is fantastic work. Celebrating accomplishments, number one, helps people know that you notice them, you're acknowledging them, but it also lets them know that what they're doing is valuable. Because a lot of times people think they're just punching the clock and they're just doing what the boss tells them to do. Well, when you start showing, hey, you're doing really good at this, or you've done something that's above and beyond, recognize that, tell them that, and that kind of helps them pull them in, draw them to being more involved with what's going on in the company, and it helps them they're going to do better work because they're going to realize that people are acknowledging my better work, right? So that's number one. Number two, provide opportunities for growth. Now, this is something that I see a lot with bigger companies, is that they already, they'll have things for training or things for personal development. And then a lot of your smaller companies seem to struggle with this. They don't have the money for training. They don't have the money to go through a process of personal development, of personal growth. But can I just tell you, as a small business owner and looking at other small business owners and talking with them, you cannot afford not to provide opportunities for growth for your people. Here's the thing. You've got people who are very talented, who are eager, who are excited, who need help, who need a hand up, who need that opportunity, who need that encouragement to grow more. And those things that you already have as a business owner, so that you can then pour into them. John Maxwell talks about the law of the lid. And the law of the lid basically says this, is that I, as a leader, if I'm an 8, that everyone under me is only going to reach where my lid is, because I can't give what I don't have. I can't go to a 9 or a 10 for them, because that's not where I'm at. I'm at an 8. So personally, as the business owner and the business leader, I need to be growing, right? But we need to be elevating those people underneath us to go to 5, 6, 7, bring them up as far as we can get them, and then continue to elevate ourselves to a 9, to a 10, and then bring them up even farther. When we give opportunities for growth, okay, again, that draws people in, that shows them that you care. It's an acknowledgement of who they are as an employee of your business or one of your workers. And it just opens the door for them to start excelling, for them to start stepping out and growing and taking those next steps, which is something that, believe it or not, all business owners, we really want our people to take those next steps, because our business is only going to grow as big, is only going to be as strong as the people that are doing the business. So number 3, let's do this. Let's create a positive work environment. Now, I worked in a place one time, and I had a boss who literally said that I want to make one day miserable, because he felt that it put him in control. Because if everyone was having one bad day or one bad afternoon then he was always in control over, because he was the one that was making that happen. He was the one. And can I just tell you, that was a miserable place to work. Now, I did a lot of good things while I was there, but my working environment in the office, it was horrible. It was miserable because it wasn't a very positive work environment. There was not this, hey, we're together to move forward, to do our best, to actually grow, to actually move forward. It was not there. Having a positive work environment is being able to say, listen, even though times are hard, even though times are tough, we're still together. We're still working for our best. We're still trying to achieve the best thing we can achieve. The other thing with a positive work environment, and we don't think about this that much as business owners, but having a clean shop or a clean office or a clean area for our employees to work in is huge. Think about it. When you walk into an environment that's a mess, what does it do? It automatically spikes your stress. It already gets you like, oh gosh, what do I do here? What is the first thing I need to do? And if you have a work environment that's like that, that's what your employees are walking into every day. It's a high stress. So, stress to keep the area clean, keep it all, tidied up, basically, is what we used to say, right? And the other thing is make sure we don't have broken tools or broken printers and broken stuff. If I understand there are times when something breaks down, the copier machine that keeps breaking down. I get it, But having an environment where things are broken, things are dirty, things are unkept, things are cluttered, it's not a very positive work environment. On one hand, we got to keep doing the work, we got to keep doing the stuff. We know what the budget is and what it is. But on the other hand, we really need to keep that positive work environment. And it's not just what we do emotionally and lifting people up with our words, but it's also physically what we're actually doing in the environment and making sure that we're putting a good work environment. So that's number 3, a positive work environment. Ready? Here's number 4. We need to promote a healthy work-life balance. Now, I understand from some employers, most employers, they're like, listen, I provide you a job, you do your work, what you do in your off time is your off time. I get it, I understand. You don't want to babysit everybody. That's not why you're owning your business. But let me say this. If you want to help motivate your employees, giving them time off, giving them sick time so that they can take care of themselves is huge, It is a benefit that is just going away. I worked at a place, and for an entire year, I got 5 days off for sick for an entire year, and I got 5 days vacation. That was it. So I was working, all these days for 12 months, and I got 1 week vacation, 1 week of sick leave. Now, for some people, they'd be like, oh man, I would love that. But that shows that the business doesn't care that much about the individual. Now, do I feel like we have to give them 30 days sick leave or 30 days vacation? No. That's not what I'm saying. You need to find the balance that works for your business and stuff. But make sure that there is balance in what the work life is and what their private life is and their home life. Because if they're working 60, 80-hour weeks, and they're only going to get 5 days vacation a year, you're burning them out. You're going to destroy them. And they're not going to be happy. They might stick around because you might be paying them good because they're getting great overtime, but they're not going to hang around too long, or it's not going to be a great work environment. All right? So give them some healthy work-life balance by giving them time off, vacation time, if you can provide benefits for them, health benefits, things like that. I know not every company can, but if you can, make it a thing, make it important. Allow them to have some time off so that they can get away, regenerate their batteries, and come back. It's a huge thing to be able to step away from work for a couple days. The next one, we ready? Number 5 is that you need to provide autonomy. There is nothing worse than working for a micromanager. Someone who sits over your shoulder and critiques and criticizes everything you do. Now, I say that, and I'm going back as a manager, and I've been a manager for years, and I've been a leader for years, in that, there are some employees you need to help carry them, and you need to help work with them and make sure they're getting what they're doing right. Once they reach that point, because if they're not, they should not be that way forever. Once they reach a certain point of autonomy, you need to let them do the job. Let them work. Promote that. Give them autonomy so that they can do their work and do their job to the best of their ability without you standing over their shoulders. Because, listen, when you have someone standing over your shoulder looking at exactly what you're doing in every level and every way, you're going to make even more mistakes than when you have autonomy. Now, granted, again, I'm going to say it and I'm throwing it out there again. You've already trained them to do the job. This is not pre-training. This is not an individual who doesn't know what they're doing and you're just going to throw them the keys and say, have fun. No, this is a situation where you've already trained them. You've already put the time into them to make sure that they know what they're doing. And then you need to let them have some autonomy. I want to talk about fostering a culture of collaboration. Now, this is a great way to motivate your employees and to keep them coming, okay? That's the whole thing that we're talking about, is how to motivate employees and keep them attached to your business and designed and locked in to what you're doing. Is that if you foster a culture of collaboration, in other words, you're not just going everything top down, but you're involving your employees. You're giving them opportunities. You're giving them time to step into what they need to do in their role and take ownership. That's huge. I'm just going to tell you, if you do that in your business, you're going to see your employees really jump to it. Now, at first, they're going to rebel to it. At first, instead of having a collaboration meeting, they're going to have a bitch session, okay? Why? Because they haven't been trained to be a collaborator yet. They haven't been trained to jump on board to going, this is to make things better, instead of just complaining on it. So you're going to have to take some time, give some opportunities for your employees to slowly grow into things. Give them opportunities to take ownership of certain things in the office, certain projects, certain things that are going on, before you start giving them big stuff, before you start bringing the main meat to the table, basically, as it is. Because what you want to do is you want to teach them that they are problem solvers, that they're not complainers. Right now, probably in majority of the businesses that I'm talking to, and majority of the shops and offices and stuff, right now, when all the employees, when you have your powwow meeting, you get everybody together, it all turns into a complaining. This is that, there's not one solution that comes, okay? There's not one solution that's brought. And then you leave discouraged, they leave discouraged, and instead of having your collaboration culture, what you've done is you've now built a divisive culture, because now everybody's complaining to everybody else, and it's just gonna bring, it's just gonna bring morale down, and it's not gonna motivate your people. Here's how you motivate your people. You know that there's something wrong in your office. It's a small thing. You're not going to start with a big thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to come with the solution already in hand. I have a solution to fix this. So I'm going to bring the solution, and then I'm going to now open that solution up for discussion and buy-in. Okay? I'm going to bring the solution and say, here's what we're going to do is we're having a problem with people, clocking in and doing this on the computer or whatever. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to now put a 5-minute pre and post. So we're supposed to be in at 9 o'clock. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 5-minute. Okay, you can clock in 5 minute till or 5 minute after, but you need to clock in. What do you guys think? Well, and let them discuss and say, okay, all right. So what we want to do is the idea is that everybody's here by 9 o'clock, not by 9:05. Okay, so we're trying to add a solution. We're trying to get some buy-in, and then we're suggesting, hey, the goal is we want everybody here by 9 o'clock. So what you've done now is you're already planting the seed. We're giving grace. We're giving an option. We're giving them something. But then what we can do is, hey, you know what? We've been trying this. This is working out great. What we're going to do is we're now going to nix that extra 5 minutes. So we want everybody here at 9 o'clock. That's the thing. Or we just leave it at 5 after because people are now coming in at 9 o'clock. So I know that's kind of a crazy scenario there, but it's one that kind of gets you thinking of some problems that you might be having in your office and with your team, where you can provide a simple solution, put it out for them to discuss, to buy in, whatever, put it in place, and then now what you've done is you've taught them, hey, when we come together with a problem, we're looking for a solution. So then now you do it again. You repeat the process. You do this probably 3 or 4 times. Now you start going, okay, here, we got a problem. Does anyone have a solution for this? Not does anyone want to talk about this. We're not going to have a gab session. We're not going to have a complaint session. But hey, here's something that we've noticed. Here's something that we've heard is going on in the office, in the shop. Does anyone have the solution? Okay. Now what you've done is you've built a culture of solving things, of collaborating. Okay. You brought that solution, then you collaborated with them and said, hey, we want you to be a part of this. Here's what do you guys think? Now it's going to be more natural for your team to start going, oh yeah, let's think about some solutions here. Now let's start collaborating. Now let's start talking. Now let's start putting some things in place. And if you do that, it's gonna drastically change your meetings, number one, but it's also gonna motivate your employees because now they're gonna be looking for solutions, not just complaining because things are going wrong. And the last one I want to mention on this is be respectful and honest. Here's the thing, what a lot of managers do and a lot of owners do is that they're unwilling to mention or bring up when they've made a mistake. You got to be honest. When you have made a mistake, when you've done something that doesn't work or hasn't worked, say it. Hey, we tried this thing and you know what? We thought this was going to be a great opportunity, but we realized a month into this, 2 months into this, it just did not work the way we thought it was going to work. So we're nixing it. So many businesses, so many owners will just hang on to bad decisions and not be honest that it's a bad decision. So, be honest when you make a mistake. One of the other motivators is just be honest. When you're talking to an employee and they've made mistakes and you're having to coach them, don't blow things out of proportion. Be honest. You were late 5 out of the last 10 days. Not, you're always late. No, they're not always late because in their mind, they were on time half the time, right? So to connect with them, listen, you were late 5 out of the last 10 days. Okay, that's an honest statement. Okay, not you're always late. So make sure that you're connecting with them honestly. Also, be respectful. I know certain people like to do their business the way they like to do it, and that's why they own their business. Got it. But just realize that your employees don't have to take your berating and don't have to take that complaining and, swearing at them and things like that. Um, be respectful. Talk to people honestly. These are human beings. These are your helpers. These are the people that are going to rally around your business to make your business great. And if you're respectful to them, if you're honest with them, they're going to be more supportive. So just want to encourage you with that today. That's kind of what we wanted to do, is just make this podcast to be an encouragement to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed what we talked about. I'm going to go through them one more time. How to motivate your employees. Ready? Recognize their achievements. Provide opportunities for growth. Create a positive work environment. Promote a healthy work-life balance. Provide autonomy for them so that they can work and run with what you've given them. Foster a culture of collaboration so that people have buy-in, that they want to be a part of the team of what you're doing. And above all, be respectful, be honest when you're talking to them. Encourage them, use those words that are going to lift people up, because ultimately they're the ones that are going to lift your business up. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this time. I enjoyed bringing it to you. And look for more of this on the Trim the Wick podcast as we try to help you help others as well as help yourself. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye. We'll see you next time. Hi, thanks for hanging out with me all the way to the end. I hope this was an encouragement to you and you really got something out of this leadership training. Now, if you want to learn more about becoming a great leader or what we do here at Dan James Leadership and Personal Development Solutions, go to www.trimthewick.com. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.